Good afternoon, Algebra Rock Stars. Do we like that one? I don't know. We need to think of a better closer. Taking suggestions as we speak, okay? So Algebra Rock Stars was one thing I was thinking of. Anyway, we're back again for another video. This is going to be our last set of notes for this unit. So that's super exciting. This will be our last piece for Unit 1, and it's going to be rearranging formulas. Rearranging formulas. Alrighty, so open up to that new page. Mine's right here. And again, this is Unit 1, Lesson 6. Rearranging formulas. Great. I'm going to use a couple different colors for this unit, for this lesson. So I believe I just need 2 colors. So I'm going to use the color that I'm using right now, and I'm also going to use a red because it's going to make the, you can't use it, a red. So it's going to make the variables that we're searching for stand out. So the first thing is to talk about what we are simplifying, and what we are going to be simplifying today is going to be a literal equation. Okay, literal equation. It's an equation with 2 or more variables. To rewrite these, or what I'm going to probably use a lot more is rearrange. You solve for one variable in the terms of the other variable or variables. Sounds a little confusing at first. The biggest thing, it's going to have 2 or more variables. So this is going to be our introduction into the next unit when we're talking about x's and y's. We're going to be looking at formulas, ones that you spent a lot of time with last year, talking about circumference is equal to 2 pi r, area is equal to 1/2 base times height. So we're going to be rearranging those here. We'll start with solving for y. So I'm going to write the directions down here so when you look back in your notes you know what you're looking at. So solve for y. And I'm always going to make the color a little different, so hopefully it stands out. So the problem is 2y plus 5x is equal to 6. We want to get this variable here all by itself and being careful to not combine any unlike terms. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's slice this, I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. That's the equality property of subtraction. These guys are not like terms. You do not combine those. So it's going to look like this. 2y is equal to 6 minus 5x. These are not like terms. We don't combine them. It stays exactly like what we see. Now we have one more thing. We have 2 times y. So I'm going to divide everything here by 2. Equality property of division. And you're left with y is equal to 6 over 2 is 3. And then this guy does not simplify out perfectly. And we, in our next unit especially, we're going to want to leave it as a fraction. So believe it or not, that is what the answer is to example number 1. So because it's going to have, these problems are going to have multiple variables, it's going to have things that we cannot combine. It is going to look a little different, but trust in yourself, trust using the equalities of property to get you to that final answer. Alrighty, I'm going to shift this up. Okay, example number 2. Let's go here. Example 2. Again, we're going to solve for y. So feel free to pause after I give you this problem. It's going to look very similar to the one we just did. So if you're in the mood to try one on your own, I would pause right now. If you paused, welcome back. Oh, that voice crack though. Okay, so we need to hopefully my voice will get better. I probably sound like so monotone. Anyway, okay, trying to make it fun. Okay, so 5y minus x is equal to 10. I need to get everything away from 5y. So I'm going to add x to both sides. Equality property of addition. So I'm going to be left with 5y is equal to 10 plus x. One last step. I need to divide 5 from everything. Notice how I'm keeping everything separate. Equality property of division. And you're going to be left with y is equal to 10 divided by 5 is 2 plus x over 5. And that's it. We've got one more example, which I kind of touched on first, was that this idea can always, this is also used on formulas. This one's also used on formulas, and we will get a lot of practice in this tomorrow. Hopefully you have, oh wow, I was doing, oh boy, okay. We got a couple more examples than I thought we did, but it's all good. So example 3, get back with it, Miss Hardaway. So a formula, okay, I'm back. So we are going to be solving for the red variable, because that's the color that I'm using, but it'll bold it, it'll highlight it whenever you're solving these types of problems. So solve for the red variable. And I have area is equal to 1/2 base times height. And I'm going to erase that. Sorry, somebody was just banging on the door. Hold on, I'm going to pause the video. This person will not go away. Well, I feel absolutely terrible. Now they were trying to get my recycling. Okay, so back to example number 3. Hopefully there won't be any more distractions. I have area is equal to 1/2 base times height. I want to solve for the height on this one. So to get rid of this 1/2, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal in these notes. So I'm going to multiply by 2 over 1. That's going to be the equality property of multiplication. Then I'm going to be left with 2 times a is equal to base times height. And now I just want to get height all the way by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by the base. And my answer, h, is going to be equal to 2 times the area divided by the base. I forgot to put here, equality property of division. Okay, so let's recap. We got rid of the 1/2. We multiplied both sides by 2. We divided by the base. The bases are going to cancel out, and I'm going to be left with 2 times the area divided by the base. Kind of crazy without any numbers, but it is the same process that you guys have been doing this whole time. Okay? Trust what you know. Let's do one more example here. What do we got? Let's do... So, example 4, solve for the red variable. We're going to do the interest formula, because I think it's in your best interest. Boo. Okay. So we are going to be solving for the principal. So if you've never seen this formula before, it's going to be your interest, so money that you get from the bank, is going to be equal to your principal, that's the money that you put in, times the rate that they're going to give you some money, and times the time. So this is the, this is not the compound interest formula, this is basic interest. Alrighty, so for this one, we actually just have one step because we have our principal times the rate times the time. So we all have multiplication here. So in one swoop, we can divide both of those pieces out.
So Ryan Carter, will you come to the main office, please?
And that was an announcement. I don't know if you heard it. So we are going to divide both sides by RT. Those are going to cancel. Miss Hardaway, could I go one at a time? Sure, but we only have 15 minutes in this video, so I'm going to knock 2 out at once. So equality property of division, and then interest divided by the rate times the time is going to be equal to our principal. So the biggest thing is you're getting those variables away from whatever variable is bold or red, or I don't know, maybe you use green or blue at home. So yeah, that's it. So let's do our little whoop, and we're done. That's it. I know a lot of you guys have been subscribing, and you can also like videos. But if you want to have a discussion board, I would jump back, because you can't make comments here. I would jump back to our Google Classroom, and feel free to make comments there, as long as it's going to be helpful or insightful over this topic. Okay? And thank you guys so much. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye!